a bad time, this time of year.
How many times is he gonna tell this story?
Oh, let him tell it. I love fairy tales.
This ain't no fairy tale, little girl. If you don't take it seriously, you're a fool!
The first Valentine's dance in 20 years has to be something special.
Oh, Flanders, you gotta get a lot of exercise if you're gonna grapple with Gretchen.
Oh, yeah? Well, I got a Valentine for her that she's never gonna forget. Right to the heart, huh?
In this town on Valentine's Day, everybody loses their heart.
Roses are red, violets are blue. One is dead, and so are you.
It can't be happening again. No! It can't be happening again.
What's going on over in Valentine Bluffs? It looks like Harry Warden's back in town.
It happened once. It happened twice. Cancel the dance or it'll happen thrice.
In the town of Valentine Bluffs, there are many ways to die. Take your pick. My Bloody Valentine.
Everybody, welcome back. My name is Gillis the Kid. We are here again with another 80s horror movie review. I'm here with my friend Mike, and we just got finished watching My Bloody Valentine. Came out in 1981, so you want to start them off and tell them all about it?
Well, the story is about a coal miner. His name is Harry Warden. Now, we're not sure how he got crazy or started to, obviously eventually he became a murderer. Supposedly there was an explosion or something in the coal mines, and some people were buried alive, I believe, if I'm saying it right. And supposedly Harry was I don't know, he was one of the people who survived.
Yeah, so basically, they were having a Valentine's Day party back in the 60s.
Right, that's right. It was 1960, that's right.
Some guys got locked up in the mines, like they got trapped.
That's what happened. Yeah, that's when they were buried alive.
When they found out, he was like chewing on the guy's arm. Like he was chewing on it to survive for, I guess it was like a day or two.
Right, because he didn't want to he didn't want to stay dry. He needed to stay hydrated, obviously.
Right. So he was like chewing on the guy's arm, and then eventually that made him, take revenge. Sort of like, Jason Voorhees, like the story when Jason
drowned. He was drowned as a kid,
so,
right? And especially after his mother got killed. Right.
And he went crazy. Like he was insane after that. So.
Right, so it's, I guess you could say, I guess it's pretty much the same storyline that he, he was upset and he started, and the murders began. And going to the opening, of course, he supposedly, I guess he was still working, I guess.
Right.
It was him and he had a girl with him. I don't know who she was.
Some blonde
chick. Who had the hots for him. Was it his girlfriend? Yeah. Was it his wife?
Right.
Who knows? Just, apparently tried to seduce him. And as soon as Harry saw the heart on her little chest there, I don't know, just triggered him, and all of a sudden, splat right through the pickaxe.
It basically triggered him to think back to when all that stuff happened.
Started, and of course, eventually, you didn't see it, but they arrested him or caught him or something,
right?
And they took him to the was an asylum, I guess, like a.
Basically,
he was committed. He was
like
committed.
A crazy,
right, and he was
psychiatric.
And he was committed. So so it's supposed to be 20 years later, and the town's been peaceful, quiet at the time. And almost like Friday 13th, you have a bunch of kids.
Mm-hmm.
They try to have a party, and
their first party in 20 years.
First party in 20 years. Yeah. But then you go to the bar where they were drinking, and you meet Al, the bartender, and supposedly he's giving you a story about what happened 20 years ago. And you find out from Al that he was actually one of the survivors in the coal mine after that explosion.
Right.
So he was trying to tell, and he was trying to warn the kids, don't do it. This is, don't have it. Cancel this party. Do not have it. But they didn't listen to him, and they still went on with it. Eventually,
he has a striking similarity to
Ralph. Crazy Ralph and Friday 13th. Yep, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He's basically the Ralph of this movie.
He is.
I would say.
I think the only difference is, Ralph. I think Ralph was a little more crazier. This guy Al was more. He was a little more serious. He wasn't as crazy as Ralph. But if you remember, of course, with Al, he was trying to scare those kids. He had that stuff, the dummy of
he got
Warden.
drunk and then started to
of Harry Warden. He kept shutting the door, and you see the stuff dummy coming out a couple times, but then he opens up it again, and there's Harry, and Harry's got the pickaxe, and he, oh boy, horrible death. And then the sheriff or the chief and the mayor, they kept saying, well, looks like Harry Warden's back in town.
So Harry Warden, we know he was like chewing on the arm to survive and everything.
Right.
But later they find out, of course, that it's Axel.
Right. That was towards the end of the movie, and
right.
And that's the other thing too. You had like a little bit of a soap opera on this one too.
Yeah.
You had Axel, TJ, and Sarah. The storyline was TJ and Sarah. They were supposedly a couple. They were the boyfriend girlfriend. TJ goes away for a while. He never really said where he went. He just disappeared. Never called. Wrote to Sarah, and then eventually Axel and Sarah. Well, they started to see each other, have a relationship, and and of course there was problems between Axel and TJ.
Right.
There was times where they almost went out a couple times.
Because they were friends, weren't they?
I believe
they were I guess they were maybe like in high school together or something.
I believe that's what happened. Yeah, but like as we said, but TJ just went away for a while.
They never said where, but I'm assuming like he went away, got another job.
Yeah, it's like he just got away from everybody, and eventually he just came back. But he didn't tell. But supposedly he didn't tell anybody that he was back at first, or didn't tell anybody. So. But
if he got another job, you're telling me like he came back to that town just to work in the mines again?
I guess he needed money. Or maybe he was going to leave again, get made enough money. Or I'm going back to back to the town I moved to.
Because technically, we never know. Like he could have gotten another girlfriend too,
right?
And then he comes back and he's mad at Axel that he's like with his girl.
Well, here's the other thing too, and don't forget, the mayor in the movie, that was TJ's dad. The mayor, remember?
Yeah.
Mayor Hannigan. That was TJ's last name, Hannigan. Yeah. So. Why couldn't his own dad give him a job in the office?
Yeah, just like anything better than working in the mines.
Right. I was thinking about that. If he needs a job, well, why couldn't his own dad just make him give him a job?
And he even says it too. Like he comes in the party and he's like, "Oh, my son's back, and you guys are just gonna have to deal with it." And I'm like, "But he's working in the mines,
he's working the coal mines with all the guys. Yeah,
all of them are obviously adults,
right?
So he could have been like the sheriff's assistant or something like that.
The sheriff or the chief, right? Right. So eventually, and of course, with the chief, he kept eventually getting messages saying to cancel the dance, cancel the party and all. But as we were saying before, the kids they still went on to have it.
Right.
As we said before, they didn't listen to Al. Of course, eventually Al got killed. So the party went on, and eventually Harry started striking.
So any like memorable characters you can think of? Because there was the only ones that I remember was like Horace, the chubby guy.
That's the chubby guy, right? Well, you had was it Howard?
Yeah, Howard.
The one that was like real goofy and drunk.
Yeah. He actually reminded me of the guy from Friday the 13th
Part 2. Yeah, absolutely.
With the I think he had like a bow and arrow or something like that.
When the guy was telling the story about Jason's out there.
Yeah.
He's waiting or something. Yeah, and he comes in
with the mask. He had curly hair too, didn't he?
Yeah.
Remember? Like
that's it. Yeah, because remember at the end, we were talking about that too, how at the end of, you never saw him at the end of part 2 because supposedly he was asking the guy, is there any other bars around here?
Yeah.
And and he disappeared. So that's what Howard reminds you of. He reminds you of him.
It's always like a comic relief.
Right.
There's always that character that...
Right. Like in Friday the 13th Part 4, you had Teddy.
Yeah. And he did the same thing with the blood from his head. Remember that? Remember?
That was Shelley.
Shelley. Yeah, Shelley.
From part 3.
He had the axe at his head with the blood coming.
Well, the one with the axe in it, that was fake. The one that was real was when he had the blood on his neck.
Oh, okay.
And he was trying to tell the girl. Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
and he passed away, or he just died right in front of her.
Howard is his name.
Howard is he was the one in My Bloody Valentine. He was trying to have fun and just have a good time. By the way, and the most important thing, we're talking about these Valentine's movies. Happy belated Valentine's, by the way. We forgot to wish everybody Happy Valentine's Day, and hopefully your loved ones got to spend time together and watch some people watch people get killed. I'm sure you horror fan movies, together got to spend the time and watch people get killed.
Did this movie come out on Valentine's Day or something?
I do not. I
can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. It might be. Well, might have to look online or check on somewhere.
I'll probably drop everything down into the description.
We'll give you information as always, as we usually do.
I don't think it did, but I could be wrong.
Right. So. We'll look into that. So eventually everybody goes down to the coal mine because the ladies wanted to see what it was like down there. Yeah. Yeah. The women weren't allowed. They weren't allowed. That was their only chance to go down there. Right. So they figure, because the boss wasn't there. So they can do what they want.
But who was the first person that got killed though?
I believe it was and I don't know his name unless you know his name. It was as far as the you had Harriet. Not Harriet. What was her name?
Like Maud or something like that?
Yeah.
Or
Mabel. That's it, Mabel. I believe it was Mabel, right. Yeah, because the sheriff or the chief came in and he went, Mabel, yeah.
She was the one that got stuck in the dryer.
Yeah, her skin was all melted, everything. So that was her. But as far as the group goes, it was the one guy who had has head stuffed in the hot dogs, the boiling hot water.
Right.
Remember he shoved his head.
He had a name too. It wasn't I forget his name.
I forget But I know, it's crazy. But he was the first one though. He was, I believe, of the group, he was the first one to get killed.
The first thing that set the sheriff off was the heart.
Right.
Like he sent them that the candy.
Right.
And it had a heart in it. Then they turned back around and.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, that's what triggered the murders too, because
then Mabel got killed.
Right.
So then they were like, okay. We can't have this dance anymore.
Right. Even the mayor, because the mayor said too, that's it. That dance is off.
Right.
But again, like I said, they kept doing it, and like I said, because the sheriff or the chief got the message saying you didn't cancel the party, or you didn't call off the party. So as we said, they go down to So then they take the kids down.
They start their own party.
They start their own party, and eventually they go down to the coal mines, and a couple people decide to go on their own and make love.
Yeah.
Big mistake. Idiots.
Every movie.
What's wrong with those people? Don't you know? You don't walk away on your own. You stay together as a team.
So I mean, did they go into coal mines because they wanted to have a party, or did they go into coal mines because the women actually wanted to see it?
It looks like the women just wanted to go down there and see what it was like at first, because they had the remember the coal the train the little train ride or whatever it was. They wanted to go on that. I mean, at first, remember when they got off. They were about to go up. They were going to go back up top, but then they wanted because they saw there was like a path in the back or something.
Right.
So can we go on a tour? So
it was TJ's idea to.
Well, he told them. He didn't want them to go down there first. TJ said, or if you go down there, go down there, come right back up. Or he didn't want them to go down there at all.
Right.
But then, what's the guy's name again? The chubby guy's name again?
Oh, Horace.
Horace.
Yeah.
Horace says, listen, we're just gonna take him down there. We'll be right back.
Right.
So they went down there, and then of course eventually you're gonna see at the time Harry's down there.
Yeah.
Of course that's his hangout. That's where and eventually you'll see him start killing them all one by one.
How did he get into that suit so fast? Because he was at the party,
right?
And then the next thing you know, you see him in the kitchen in his suit. He kills the kid, and down he's back at the party again.
He's quick at.
Oh, you know what it was? All he had to do was put on the mask.
Well, yeah, because there was times because when they were in the coal mines, he pretty much had the outfit on, And then eventually, and then a few minutes later, you probably had it somewhere. You just
I
put it
forgot
on.
about that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, so everybody gets dying one by one, but eventually it comes down to TJ, Axel, Sarah,
and Horace's girlfriend.
Yeah. Right. So eventually, Horace he's gone, and of course the other kids die. The two that made love on their own got killed. Something went through their back at the same on top of the
it was
other.
like some type of stick or a metal rod. Like he just
something. I know. I know. So it comes down, So eventually, his girlfriend dies. Horace dies. So then it's down to Axel, TJ, and Sarah.
Yeah.
Then eventually Axel disappears. So it's just TJ and Sarah. Eventually, you see Harry finally stalking them.
Right.
TJ and Harry have their, TJ and Harry have their battle. They were fighting on the train. And eventually, the chief and everybody finally comes inside, and they go in that one room there, that little small room.
Keep out danger.
The keep out danger room. Right. The fight begins, and then eventually, then you see Sarah come over and yank the helmet off, and of course it's Axel, and then of course, TJ says, "Axel, why?" And then you see the flashback. It was Harry killing Axel's father, and he was just a little kid at the time.
Well, he ripped his father's heart out. So it was, you're a kid and you see that, you're traumatized.
I know, he's watching the whole thing. I mean, I don't know. But the question is though, how long did it take for him to start killing though?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
I'm sure I don't think he did as a kid, unless he.
Well, the killings didn't start until they started having those parties again.
Right, which was 20 years later.
Because if there was anything in between, there would have been like, hey, we're not having this at all.
Right.
So
Axel's revealed, and you see the flashback of Harry killing his dad. So now what triggered Axel to start killing.
Or I'm sorry, the blonde in the beginning. So she was technically the first in 20 years.
Right. Right. So, right.
She never made it. Like, she was just in the beginning. He saw the heart on her chest.
That's what we're saying to be. Right, that's what we're saying to begin. The heart just triggered him, and as soon as he saw it, that's when he killed her. So Axel. Okay, so you're right. Again, Axel's father gets killed by Harry. He sees it as a kid. Eventually, when he gets older, he starts killing. And that's how that started. And then eventually, you see the rocks and stuff falling down on him, so he's like trapped.
Yeah, it trapped his arm.
It trapped his arm.
And
You see his
he
arm.
eventually had to cut his arm off.
Cut his arm off, but he was stuck inside that little back cave or whatever that was. It was his hideout. And that's when he was saying that Harry, I'm coming, Harry. And that's pretty much and that's pretty much it. He goes in the back, say, Harry, I'm coming. Sorry, be my bloody Valentine.
It wasn't really a long movie, but
no, it was.
It was definitely one of those movies in that genre that was very close to Friday the 13th,
right?
As far as like character wise,
right? That's basically what it was. Because again, it's kids or teenagers. They all get killed by one person, and eventually. I mean, of course, you find out who really did it at the end. Which, by the way, of course, you find out that from the chief that supposedly Harry Warden died 5 years ago.
Right.
He passed away. That's why it wasn't Harry at the time.
It took him all day to get that information.
To get the information, because he called. Right, because he kept telling the lady, well, there's got to be something. Find out. He was committed there, and eventually, because I think on the way, because I think when they were on his way to the coal mine, I think that's when. I don't know, the deputy or something, when he told him, and he said that lady, the secretary, she's on the phone right now, and I think he found that on the way over. So that's what happened. So Harry eventually passed away, and Axel, I guess you can say, carried on the work,
carried on the legacy,
and he just went in that far back room. And what happened with Axel? Now, what happened with Axel when the movie was over? Did he die eventually? He had to stay hydrated himself,
right?
Unless he had
he probably had a little bit of water, but not much.
Unless he had a kitchen built in that back mine. But either way, for now he was live, but who knows? Maybe he eventually died, and then that's it. And then
I do want to point out that this movie did have a strong female lead too, which was Sarah. She was the one that had Horace's girlfriend.
Right. She was trying to. she was trying to help her, trying to tell, look,
she led the way,
dead. Yeah,
for a little bit.
Right, let's go, he's dead, and she was telling him to climb up, like, go up the ladder, go this way. Yeah, she was telling him what to do. So
she wasn't one of those women that, especially when TJ and Axel started fighting, like she helped out a bit. She gave him the shovel,
right?
Well,
like I said, and she was the one that yanked off his
she yanked the mask off.
His mask off, and they found out it was Axel. So I guess TJ and Sarah, maybe they got back together.
Yeah, I'm assuming that was a happy ending
for those two. Yeah, so
they probably, from what I got from watching the movie, wasn't TJ going to leave again? Wasn't he going to leave the town again?
I can't remember.
Because he said like Sarah was, coming back with me
or something.
So. I wouldn't stay in that town after that.
After all that, yeah. I mean, who knows if
I would have left.
Happened again.
Yeah.
Maybe eventually TJ and Sarah, when they got back together, who knows? Maybe they
I don't think any of the kids would have stayed there.
Maybe they tied the knot. Maybe they got married. Right. Who knows? So there you have it.
He never asked her. There was never a moment in the movie where he was like, "Hey, I want you to marry me" or something like that.
No.
So,
but maybe in the future. I mean, maybe eventually, if they got back together, they started an actual relationship. Again, we're back together again. Then maybe this time in the future, he popped the question. So
there was actually going to be a sequel called like "Return of the Miner."
Oh, really?
Something like that. But it never got into production. So
really,
that's kind of a bummer because I would have liked to maybe see like a sequel to that movie.
Yeah, the only thing is, would there be new version of kids? I guess like in Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I'm guessing it would have been because technically Axel is still alive,
right?
If he didn't die from blood loss, but.
The only problem is he would only have one hand available though. If he was to come back and carry the pickaxe, he would have been
one-handed.
Yeah, he couldn't use both, so he'd just be walking around,
And I've held a pickaxe before. Like they're not, they're heavy.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah. So. And then they have
and then we get to
the other movie.
We get to the remake from 2009. Pretty much the same storyline. Harry Warden. But I believe in this one, instead of 20 years, I believe it's supposed to be 10 years in this one.
10 years ago.
It's 10 years ago in this one.
Or 10 years later.
10 years later, right. 10 years ago, 10 years later. I believe the characters, I don't know, I don't remember, I haven't seen this movie in a while, so just bear with us. If the characters have the same names. I know Axel's in it again. There is an Axel in this one. I think TJ's in it again.
There's, it's basically the same names.
Right. And now in this one, Axel is actually the good guy.
Yeah, it's reversed.
He becomes the new sheriff. The original sheriff was played by actor Tom Ankins, who was in Halloween Season of the Witch, Halloween 3. He was the main character in that one, if you remember, when he got kidnapped with the robots and stuff. Eventually, he retired, so Axel became the new sheriff.
Right.
And then TJ, or if he is TJ in this one, eventually he was actually Harry Warden.
Right.
What happens is that with TJ, if you remember towards the end, he was like hallucinating. He was seeing Harry, like he would see Harry walking over, and he'd be like, Harry, wait, there's Harry right there. He's right behind me.
And like his girl was like, "What are you talking about? Like, there's no one there."
Right. Because he was seeing him, and he would disappear, and then it's like, Harry was like inside of him or something.
Yeah.
And then eventually, so he was the ones who was doing all the killing in that one.
Yeah.
And pretty much same thing like in the original. He survived at the end, So only this time he was actually outside, though. If you remember, I think everybody went to the mine, but they didn't see him, and he got away. Right, you see him at the end. He took off his mask and everything, and he went off on his own. So
that was actually the guy who played in that series called like Supernatural.
I was about this. Yeah, I remember because I remember he was on a TV show.
It was like a show about like brothers investigating like. The supernatural stuff.
Okay, like I said, it's been a while since I've seen this one, but I remember pretty much towards the end of the movie how it was.
Right. So if you've seen that show, that's the guy,
the actual killer.
That's the
actual.
That's the one that played in there.
So in my opinion, I think they were both good. I enjoyed them. My thing, of course, is you still like to see when the bad guys again get it in the end. But at least you got to find. At least you find out who actually did the killings in them.
Right.
So
and this was the like the unrated version, so
right. This one is
you get to see even more brutal deaths.
Right. The death scenes are they're a few minutes longer. As a matter of fact, on the features, you can even watch them separately. If you want. I mean, I think that's kind of dumb because the deleted scene. There's deleted scenes, which is pretty much the death scenes that are in the movie, and you can just watch it fully through instead of watching them separately. Basically,
right.
You can watch the deleted scenes. So the best way. That's probably the best way to do it. You're better off just watching the extended edition all together, and you can watch it uncensored all the way straight through. That's
normally what I always recommend.
Oh yeah, me too. That's what we were talking about earlier. You got movies that are unrated. Like I said,
Con Air. What is this? 3D.
That's a 3D, and you can watch it, and you can still watch it in 2D. Like I was saying before about unrated movies, like Con Air, there's an unrated version of that, and there's a lot of those, even the comedy movies like American Pie. Yeah. American Pie they have unrated editions. Yep. There's funnier stuff in that. 40-year-old version, I believe there's an unrated version. The Hangover, a lot of comedy movies and some horror movies. And that's the way to do it too. Always get the unrated version because you can see pretty much the movie.
Why wouldn't you?
Through.
Yeah, you're paying your money. You might as well get to see how they intended it originally to be.
Right. I mean, that's like even with the Superman movies with Christopher Reeve. Part 1, there was deleted scenes and extended scenes mixed into the movie. Mm-hmm. And even I think they even had some sound tests mixed in too, if I remember.
And that's what I like, especially like these Samsung TVs, like the 4Ks. Like it makes movies from the 80s look like they were made in like 2002. Like it's
and especially if they're Blu-ray movies,
right?
Especially because we were talking our last review, we watched the Thing from 1982. And also the Thing from 2011. And I apologize because I believe I said 2013. It was 2011. But as far as the 1982 version goes, yes, if I would recommend the Blu-ray version for your HD TVs because the quality, and it's true because if you watch them, ladies and gentlemen, it's like I said, it's like you're watching a brand new movie or a movie from 10 years back. Yeah. So it's worth it. Nice clear copy. Not like it's not like watching a VHS.
Right.
So good stuff. Good stuff.
And nowadays some of these DVDs are hard to find, especially since there's no actual movie stores anymore. You got to go to like Walmart or Amazon or something like that.
Right. I mean, sometimes even Best Buys and stuff still has.
Or Best Buy.
I mean, they'll still sell some old movies. But yeah, if you can't find them, then the best way to do it is probably to look online from Amazon, or I know sometimes vendors sell movies too. As I said before, I collect wrestling tapes, and I get like old VHS ones, from the old days of the WWF, and usually vendors sell the VHS copies of them because they don't release them today. They don't even put them out on DVD. So it's just as far as the old, because I like the old school wrestling stuff, so I always buy the old VHS tapes, relive the past with Hulk Hogan and all those guys. If you're a wrestling fan, so.
And I'm going to drop everything down into the description so you know exactly which movie to get, because sometimes the vendors, they'll try and sell you like weird stuff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
There's different like regional codings and stuff like that, so you don't want to buy a DVD that's not going to work on one of your players too.
That's true, because I've seen that. I've seen like people sell like I love the Incredible Hulk, and they have they sell like the DVDs that are from out of like the old 80s cartoon show from 1982.
Yeah.
And same thing. It says on the information. It says will only play out of the USA. So you got So definitely make sure you read descriptions when you're if you're looking, especially if it's rare stuff, that's something that you haven't watched in a long time or something. Always read that. Always read that information.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, that's it in a nutshell,
I believe we're good. So, as we said, for once again, for you horror fans and the couple of horror fans, for Valentine's Day, watch these two. These are very good. 1981, 2009, and perfect movie to watch for you lovebirds. So, I think you'll enjoy them. I enjoy them myself, and I think they're good to watch.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day.
It's creepy. It's a good movie.
Creepy and scary. Harry Warden is the man.
Harry Warden. Yeah. Then one thing I want to point out is they're making a lot of remakes now with movies.
Yes.
They're supposed to have like another remake, like with Chucky.
Right,
coming out in the summer.
I know. I haven't read too much. I mean, I think it was more of a teaser. I didn't see it wasn't an actual trailer because I don't know if I'm going to assume I don't know if Brad Dourif is going to play the voice of Chucky again.
I hope so.
I can't see why not. I mean, he's done every single one. I can't imagine him not doing this new one.
Money talks.
Money talks.
We'll get 'em.
And also, there's also going to be a remake of Pet Sematary that's going to be coming out.
Pet Sematary.
You got that. And as we said before, there's going to be a sequel to Stephen King's It.
Yep.
Looking forward to that one. I definitely want to see that one when that comes out. So
I forgot about Pet Sematary.
Pet Sematary, yep. There's going to be a remake, of course, from Stephen King.
Yeah. Good stuff coming out.
A lot of good stuff. And we're going to have more reviews in the future, of course. Looking forward to doing them down the road.
We take requests.
Let
us know what you want.
Comment. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Leave a comment below. If you want a request, just let us know. We'll find it. If we can, we'll watch it. And we will talk about it.
We'll definitely find it. We'll go on a hunting. We'll go on a hunting spree.
Hunting streak. We'll find it. We'll trash.
That's what we do.
We'll trash all the video stores and we'll find them. We promise.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, that's all I got.
I think we're good.
I want to thank you again for coming, and we'll have some more videos coming up pretty soon. And I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.